is CTV News with Mike Killeen and Linda Steele.
There are more police officers than usual in Stanley Park tonight as the VPD steps up patrols.
The concern of violent sex predator who attacked a female jogger Monday, a man police believe could strike again. Good evening. Women who use Stanley Park are being warned to take special precautions as the hunt for that predator heats up.
Lisa Rossington is there live tonight, and Lisa, police really want to catch this guy.
Well, it's a top priority. Vancouver police say an attack like this in Stanley Park is rare, but they want to make sure they have enough police resources in the park to keep women safe.
They are a noticeable presence in Stanley Park. More police officers patrolling on bikes after a woman was attacked while jogging through the park.
Mounted members on horseback, bicycle members, foot patrols, as well as community safety personnel and uniform officers on foot and in cars patrolling that area to make that a safe place to be for women.
On Monday at 8:30 in the morning, on a trail between Lost Lagoon and Second Beach, the woman was grabbed from behind, knocked to the ground, and groped. Police have released this sketch of the suspect and pictures of a muddy jacket, gloves, and a Blue Jays hat found discarded near the scene of the crime. The attack has some female park users nervous.
It's definitely changed my habits, and that's why I'm out here on the seawall where I know there is more people.
I would be more careful. For example, I would take out my my headphones and don't cut myself off from my surroundings.
Stay to the paved trails or stay to the open trails away from the treed areas. Run with a friend if you're concerned for your safety. And again, be aware of your surroundings. Don't necessarily have your headphones on, or at least have one ear open to what's going on around you.
Good advice for women because Stanley Park is 400 hectares of forest, and police admit they can't be everywhere.
And the suspect is described as Aboriginal, about 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, in his late 30s or early 40s. Linda.
Thanks for that, Lisa.
From track meets to long-planned field trips, the number of important school events being canceled is rising sharply tonight. The reason, a second week of walkouts by BC teachers. Michelle Brunoro has the story.
They're warming up, getting ready for their biggest track meet of the year.
I'm nervous.
Though they've trained for months, some students have come to the BC High School Track and Field Championships today without their teacher coaches.
She's not here today because she's on strike, but it's unfortunate because she's been helping coaching us all throughout high school.
Teacher job action also means that not all students will be able to participate in extracurricular activities like this. North Vancouver parent Nicole May just received a notice saying the elementary track and field event planned for Swangard Stadium Tuesday is cancelled.
Obviously, there's always going to be an impact when there's strike action that's being taken, but they didn't have to strike on Tuesday.
May says her 10-year-old daughter Emma is devastated.
It's seeing her cry and be upset about something that she's worked at for almost 2 months be canceled.
In Surrey, where teachers were getting honks of support as they walked the picket line, many extracurricular activities have been rescheduled at schools. However, about 30% have been canceled altogether.
Those that require a lot of supervision aren't going ahead. If there's not enough parent volunteers or there can't be parent volunteers, we see that with camps.
Abbotsford schools have also cancelled some elementary and middle school track meets. This is day 4 of rotating strikes, and they will continue again next week. The BC Teachers Federation blames the government.
We have to see smaller class sizes for students, class composition guarantees, and minimum levels of specialist teachers.
The government blames the union.
Well, I can only say to parents it wasn't the government that initiated strike action, it was the BCTF.
And the kids are caught in the middle. Michelle Brunoro, CTV News, Langley.
A 5-year-old girl who was hit by a car in an Abbotsford alley has died in hospital. The girl was struck after running out a gate and into an alley near Blue Ridge Drive on Tuesday evening. She was airlifted to hospital but has died of her injuries. The driver stayed at the scene and will not be facing any charges.
Thousands of your tax dollars may have been sent to people on welfare by mistake. The reason, a government computer glitch. But that's not the only problem. As John Woodward reports, the plan to get the money back is being called ridiculous.
These are the 2 girls. New entries, no check.
Jim O'Rourke gets government funding to house people and kick their addiction to hard drugs.
We've been housing, feeding them, making sure they got to their doctor's appointments, POs, and lawyers' appointments. not a penny for them.
The money's gone missing, and it's a lot for his nonprofit, $7,000 this month alone. But this week he got an email that might explain where it went. That missing $7,000 could be going directly to his clients.
This is crazy.
A government worker wrote to him, many clients may not receive the correct amount of assistance, e.g. they will receive more than they are entitled to. And if that happens, the ministry tells O'Rourke, they have to give the overage to you.
Their support check that's supposed to be $95 might be $600, in which that time I have to get the balance from $95 back from them. Are you kidding me? A client gets his welfare check, it says $610, he says happy birthday to me, and he heads down the dusty highway to Money Mart to cash a check and get loaded.
The news is coming after a major glitch in one of the government's computer systems, one that forced government workers to use hard copy files and canceled welfare checks.
It is a large computer system they've invested more than $200 million in, and we're concerned that problems are continuing to happen with it.
The NDP says asking a nonprofit to collect the money isn't fair.
To have to go to clients to be able to check on what they have. Number one, that's the ministry's job, not the agency's job.
The government says the email doesn't tell the whole story. The problem is likely limited to 150 people a month, and the ministry will reconcile the payments next month.
We deal with, in this ministry, 175,000 individuals every month. We want to make sure we're giving those individuals the services they deserve and they need.
O'Rourke says one client has paid him back, but as for the rest, he's not holding his breath. John Woodward, CTV News, Surrey.
Police say they are not investigating an incident that caused a scene in a Surrey parking lot. A toddler was left inside a car outside a Walmart. Police say people tried to get into the car, but the mother returned and opened the door. The boy, believed to be 3 years old, was in the vehicle for about 15 minutes. He was taken to hospital as a precaution, but is okay.
3 years ago today, a young woman named Angeline Pete went missing in North Vancouver. She hasn't been seen since. As CTV's Scott Roberts reports, Pete has a son and no history of disappearing.
We're never going to give up. We're not going to give up until we find her.
A desperate plea from a family begging for answers. 3 years after Angeline Pete, a daughter, a sister, a mother, vanished.
If someone's holding her against her will, please allow her to come home. Her son's lost without her.
It's a case shrouded in mystery. Pete disappearing from North Vancouver seemingly without a trace, never accessing bank accounts, never making contact with her family again. Police have no idea whether she's dead or alive.
People have been polygraphed, people have been questioned as to the connection with her, people of interest, and we're still at the place where there is no criminal investigation at this point.
She's one of more than 1,100 murdered or missing Aboriginal women in Canada, one of more than 100 that police still haven't located. Pete was known to have hitchhiked in the past, even along the Highway of Tears, but investigators aren't sure if that may have played a role in her disappearance. A $5,000 reward for information is still being offered.
And I'm pleading with anybody to please share the word of our niece missing, and let's bring her home. We've lost enough Aboriginal women.
Even seasoned investigators admit the case is rare. Police still without sufficient evidence to prove a crime even happened. They've polygraphed 3 people, including Pete's former fiancée. All of them passed. And so the family is left to wait and wonder. Was she taken? Did she leave on her own? And if so, did she meet a tragic fate?
There's days I walk through the streets, hoping to bump into her.
Each passing day more difficult than the last, until they know exactly what happened to Angeline Pete. Scott Roberts, CTV News, North Vancouver.